Lindsay, and I'm going to be interviewing Cat, who is our CEO at Children's Harbor. I'm doing an internship this summer at Children's Harbor as an event coordinator intern, and so this is the perfect person to interview about the technology that she uses. So to begin, Ms. Cat, please introduce yourself, the company you work for, and what your position is.
My name is Cat Outzen, and I'm the CEO of Children's Harbor.
Gotcha. So what do you do in your day-to-day job? What does your job look like?
My day-to-day job is varied, so we're spread out over 85 miles, so I spend my time going back and forth between Lake Martin and our Birmingham location.
Okay.
I am in charge of the overall vision and strategy of what we do here at Children's Harbor. So I spend a lot of time thinking about long-term planning, stewarding donors, and just making sure everything is kind of running smoothly. Luckily, we have a wonderful team here of interns like you and program staff that they run all the day-to-day things at each location here at Lake Martin at our camp facility, and then also up in Birmingham at our Harbor Family Center, and then in our development and marketing office, which is also in Birmingham. So I just kind of go back and forth and wherever I'm needed and kind of go from there.
Gotcha. So what are some of the things, since we're at Lake Martin, I'd love to focus on that a little bit. What are some of the things we do here at Lake Martin?
So Lake Martin is our family retreat facility. So it's 66 acres, beautiful waterfront. We do pediatric medical camps. So we have either 45 or 46 scheduled this year. And they range from all different diseases from hemophilia to now we have Down syndrome here this weekend. That's why it's a little loud. And anything in between, from diabetes to childhood cancer, just a little bit of everything. Any family that needs a retreat or children. We've got 2 campuses inside our campus. I think we can sleep somewhere between, I don't know, maybe 439. I do not recommend that, never ever. Should we ever have 439 people here, we would be on top of each other. But the first camp, and we started that back in the early 90s, is for youth camp. So that is your regular bunk style camp, just like your normal summer camp. It's for those kids that can have more independence. They don't need their family with them. They may not be as sick or limited in mobility. We only run those in the summer, so there's about 8 of those. And we do that because if you want to do a week-long camp, you really need to be out of school.
Right.
So that's what we do on
that makes sense.
that campus. And then on our other side is our family camp. That's called our Harbor Lodge, and that's where the majority of our retreats are.
What kind of technology do you use day to day in the work that you do here at Lake Martin, in the Birmingham office, at the hospital? What kind of technology do you use?
So of course I use a computer. I love my Mac.
Right.
I have all Mac products, laptops, desktops, all of that, and I have. I love photography, so I've got my Canon camera that I take with me. But so I use a lot of Photoshop, all the Adobe suite, all of those things, and I'm just now learning to use the AI products. So I was on ChatGPT, but I'm starting to transition over to Claude. So I've been using that a lot. It's helping me write policies, write strategy. Of course, I give it the prompts and the ideas. But it's really been producing, most of the time, some really good work.
Yeah, that's the thing about AI, is that you're the one who guides the direction of the answers it gives you, but it helps you, which is really awesome, makes you more efficient. Yes. So with AI or with any other technology you use, what are some roadblocks or challenges that you've run into as you've used technology?
So with the AI, sometimes it hallucinates, sometimes it forgets. Sometimes I think we're going down a really good path, and then I have to yell at it and say, okay, maybe not. This is not the best way.
Right.
With the Adobe products, I'm constantly taking way too much memory and having to buy new computers and new things to keep up, running Photoshop, running Adobe Bridge and Lightroom all at the same time. It's very hard to do that. I also use AI in my photo editing. I use Topaz AI, and that has been really, really helpful. It can save a lot of blurriness, make things sharper. Sometimes if a child is completely out of focus, if there's enough light, it can recreate his or her face. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, you've talked a lot about what you do and how you use technology. What about your team? How do you encourage your coworkers and the people below you to use technology?
So we've got a lot of new software that we use. We've got Camp Brain. So that is our registration software, and that's new over the past 2 or 3 years. That helps us get people registered, their medical forms, health forms, t-shirts, all of that. So that has been really helpful. We have a camp facilities management. I can't remember what it's called anymore, but so putting in work orders and things, there's a list and people get assigned things. So that has worked really well. And we're using Asana in our development and marketing team to start our project management and keep up with deadlines. And we're starting to use some of the AI products as well. It doesn't always work, so it's still a work in progress, but we are embracing new technology while still being careful to be true to our roots.
Right. So could you share a little bit too about SharePoint and the way that works for people here?
Yeah, so SharePoint is our cloud-based system. That is where all the files for Children's Harbor exist. That's where all of our photos exist.
Right.
It's something that you can easily access. The search function is not great. Sometimes I search for something, I know that's a keyword, it doesn't always pop up. There's some issues with some of the Microsoft products, but it's very, very helpful. We also use OneDrive in conjunction with that. So we have personal OneDrives and then we have a SharePoint as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's one thing I really loved about the technology that we use here at SharePoint. It's teamwork is so much easier.
Yes.
Being able to collaborate and see the things that each other uploads is very helpful. So you can work as a team and bounce ideas off of each other and help each other. So that's really awesome. So we've talked about you, we've talked about the team. What about your guests? I'm sure this is a big topic. How do you encourage just the experience that you said that these campers have with their families? How do you encourage that using technology? What kind of technology enhances those experiences?
Wi-Fi. So we are in a rural area and it's very hard to get service out here. So we do everything that we can to make sure that the signal is good, that it's strong. We've had people have to do their medical appointments, telemedicine. We have research conferences here. So we very much are aware of that. Equipment technology, we've got wheelchair accessible golf carts. We're starting to add more automatic doors and things like that. We make sure that we have enough plugs and systems for ventilators and all of those different things. A lot of our families use assistive technology to talk and communicate. So make sure we have extra batteries and all of that charging. But we do also like to not be on technology because this is a lake, so no computers, no cable or TV or anything like that, but they do bring them.
I want to talk about some short-term and long-term goals that you have. So first we'll talk about short-term goals that you have for your company with technology. Are there any short-term, meaning like in the next 1 to 5 years? Any new technology that you want to implement? Anything you can think about pertaining to that with your employees?
I think we're going to really be embracing AI more and how, we're still trying to find that balance of being helpful versus being canned content, so that there's always a balance there to maintain that warmth and feel that Children's Harbor has. But I see us definitely using more of those products. Vicki and I, my chief operating officer, we have a business chat GPT account. We haven't figured out how to do it together yet, but we're progressing that way. More of our project management and things like that. I see us in our Harbor Family Center up in the Children's Hospital buying some more sensory-friendly equipment. Upgrading all of our video game systems. There's just a lot of interactive things that you can do with technology that we just haven't done. And I think we'll be incorporating that.
I've really enjoyed my internship. I love the technology we use, so thank you for letting me interview you, Kat.
You're welcome.